Hello, I'm back. Second YouTube video, and this is a general reading for the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, their current energies. So on the right side here have the Divine Masculine, and on the left have the Divine Feminine, and then just some connecting energies through the middle. Okay, all right, well, I'll start with the Divine Masculine. So in his spiritual space, so currently his energy is Seven of Swords. So he's really stuck in this self-deception. So this is really calling out how his soul is at odds with reality. And I'm really picking up that it's a real sneakiness of this boy. He's running away because he thinks he can get away with it. But what he's just not seeing are the two swords remaining. And they're stuck, impaled in the ground there firmly. And they're not going anywhere. So it's like he can run, but he's not going to be able to hide from this connection. So really deceiving himself. And it's actually causing him quite a lot of conflict and distress, which we'll see in the other energies. But so in his shadow space is emotions, not expressing his emotions. Look at this downpour. A deluge of water, of emotions, and that's what's needed. And he's deceiving himself. He's not allowing that to happen and not facing the emotional elements. And it's exactly... So in a way, I'm seeing this is the Divine Feminine. She's reaching up to the heavens, crying out, please, the honest outpouring of emotion. And you may not hear this, but it's just started to downpour. I don't know if you can hear the rain in the background, but there's a little bit of a divine nudge to any divine masculines that are listening in. But that's exactly what's needed. Outpouring of emotion, expressing the emotion, expressing. So I've been really channeling over the last number of days that it just keeps coming up for the Divine Masculine. Expressing his love, express. And the way to express it, the way he can start doing it is through his emotions. Let it out to himself, to a karmic partner, to friends he trusts, but most of all to his Divine Feminine. That's what's needed. But he's not doing that. And he's stuck in this deceptive state, and it's his soul, struggling because of it. All right, so Divine Feminine, what's happening in her spiritual space? Okay, so, whoa, the Tower. Wow. Got some Tower energy here. That's really interesting because, what I'm feeling is Divine Feminine, she's saying, bring it on. Bring on catastrophic destruction, whatever divine intervention is needed. Because I'm just looking at the card here and just looking at, if you can see the feminine, she's just throwing herself out of like a swan dive out of the tower. She's throwing herself into the unknown, into the destruction, she knows, she has absolute faith in the divine, in what's to come, in herself. And then, by contrast, have a look at the masculine. He's screaming, resisting, desperately trying to grasp his crown again. It's a very different approach to the Tower moment. So it's interesting this is coming up in the feminine spiritual space, because sort of feeling that the Tower is really more happening in the masculine. So, okay, I read this to be almost the feminine spirit is channeling this Tower moment for all, that it has to happen. Enough's enough. And she's done her work. She's ready for it. She's throwing herself into it. And in a way, it's dragging the divine masculine out of his stupor, into the unknown. So yes, but I'm not feeling like it's a real negative energy in terms of the divine feminine spirit. It's in a way welcome, and that, to me, it's confirmed by the Wheel card. So another, well, in spiritual space for divine feminine, 2 major arcana there, big ones. And yet I feel that the divine feminine's going, yep, this is it. This is the wheel of fate turning. Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, it has to happen. I'm ready. It's what is meant to be is meant to be. Bring it on. I keep hearing, bring it on, bring it on. So, yep. The wheel must turn. Yep. So yeah, the wheel of fate. It's fate. This is what the divine spirit is channeling, this Tower moment, to usher in destiny, fate, whatever that may be. So, yes, there's a little bit of residual attachment to outcomes for divine feminine still, and that's still the journey she's on. But more and more she's releasing it and leaving it up to the divine to let it be what it'll be, and that's this wheel card coming out. But I'm seeing all these grapes and joy. So to me, it's joy and abundance. It's all really there. I mean, however the wheel turns, it's all slots into another place each time. You've got like the winter here, so it's lack of abundance, etc. But really, in reality, divine feminine knows, really surrounding it all is it's all abundance. That's just an illusion, the winter. It's just a cycle to go through. So I feel the divine feminine really gets this, and it's coming up in her spiritual space. So more and more, I think it'll be channeled into her day-to-day reality. Okay, so now the emotional space for the divine masculine. And we have, this is, I've really been feeling this from my counterpart over the last number of days. He's emotionally in chains. It's even here, looking at the difference, the way that a feminine is depicted, she's a bit more open. I mean, she's still in chains, but she's got her head lifted. She's not hiding, but the masculine is literally trying to crawl into a ball and hide every part of himself, his face, his head, his heart, his genitals. I'm really, really picking up here. I'm really drawn to this caricature of a man beast, like the overdone stereotype of a bodybuilder, the bulging muscles and veins, and it all channels to the center of his strength, which is at his groin, and that's where he has the 2 poor people in chains from there, as that from that force he's exerting. So he's in his ultimate power, the devil there, and it's really showing up in contrast. The divine masculine just picking up shame, real state of shame in his emotional space. The way he's treated his divine feminine, the way he's treated others. He can't show his face. And honestly, shame is the lowest of all low vibrations. So this is a really difficult emotional space for the divine masculine, and he's utterly at the mercy of ego forces. The ego forces, all the trappings of society, etc., and really feeling he's trapped, can't escape. He's feeding the beast. He's just fodder for the beast. He feels no real control and that strength, masculine energy. It's been given over to the societal beast. So interesting that then on the shadow side, what comes up, and this is, so the Crone of Air, really picking this up as the masculine has shut the book to his emotions. And hence, he's not open up in his emotions. He's under the control of ego. He's deceiving himself. He's at odds with his own soul because he's not expressing. He's not opening himself up to his emotions. He does now and again, but generally he tries to put that back under control, keeps shutting the book. And that's preventing him from going on the journey of passion and through the fire, following the trail. I mean, I'm also picking up the lizard, the fear, our lizard brain. It's our instincts going back to fear-based thinking here. So, but there's an interesting dichotomy because this lizard, salamander, I think it is he's not afraid. He's walking the path. He's meandering through the fire in total confidence. He's not going to get harmed. And this is the shadow side. This is what the masculine is not doing. He's not believing he can walk the path and really ultimately remain unharmed in his soul. And unfortunately, it's spilling over into other elements of his life, all elements of his life, to be honest, because this is Mars. So it's Mars in the background, the planet of action, of doing, of the supreme divine masculine. He's not being his divine masculine. So, yeah, and this powerful passion and emotion that drives divine masculine to do incredible feats of the impossible. That warrior power instinct. He's given that up, letting himself be in chains, and yeah, it comes back. This is the emotional shadow. So it comes back to, he's shut the book on his emotions and it's having severe consequences in his life. So if we have a look at the divine feminine, in contrast, well, she's channeling her passion. She has mastered her emotions. She's sitting very, very comfortably on her throne of passion and emotions, and she has mastered her lizard brain. It's a supplicant. It's at her feet. It's not driving her, but she has, compassion and strength and really grounded posture here. Really very stable. But there's so much fire. There's the divine feminine has really been getting her fire back and mastering that emotional state. She's getting less and less. It still happens, the up and down, the roller coaster, but it's certainly happening much less. And I guess that's why the Six of Wands came out, the real victory, the real recognition. She has mastered the worst period of her emotions. So, look, bowing down to the victory, the long journey. I mean, this warrior has gone on a long journey, and the horse is very, very tired, but all recognize what she's been through. And I think people around the divine feminine have recognized how much she has been through, because she has to some extent been expressing her emotions, letting it out, and that's, I guess, the key. She has mastered. She's gotten to the King of Wands state, mastering her passions, and ready to take the reins and not hold back, go forward and walk to her destiny. So in terms of her shadow influences, she has the 5 of air. So this is like palmistry, so in a way predicting and looking at lifeline, heartline, that sort of thing. But picking up a few things here, channeling a few things. So that she has been walking the path of her destiny. She has followed the heartline and lifeline. She hasn't been hiding from it. And that's where she's got to the state of being in her own passionate power. And also the other thing is, I'm noticing this is like a right hand. So the right hand traditionally is about giving out there. The left is more the receiving. And it's almost like a message for the divine feminine. You've recognized where you've got to. Now you can give out, you can give back, you can show this emotion to others. Especially, it's an important energy to express, because as we know, there's a lot of mirroring, etc. going on. So give out that emotion, because this is in the emotional state, divine feminine's emotional state. So express that emotion, and maybe show the masculine how it's done. That there's nothing to fear by expressing the emotion. Demonstrate it. Lead by example, because as we know, the divine feminine usually... Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. Just drop the cards. So, yeah, the divine... Anyway, the point was the divine feminine... she can help the whole connection by outwardly expressing her emotions, but showing how they're not controlling her. They're part of her expression. So, and there's nothing to be afraid of. All right, so in terms of the divine masculine's mental space, we have the 6 of Swords. So normally that's about transitioning from a bad period into a better period. So yes, picking up a bit of that mentally, a little bit of an improvement. You can see some light way over there on the horizon. But overall, I'm really picking up, it's still dark, still very dark. And you see, this man's head is down, still looking downwards, not up towards the future. I'm also picking up, for those who, like in karmic whose counterpart is in karmic situations. So the counterpart is retreating into herself. Almost, she's not there for a child that's looking for leadership, looking for guidance. Like the child's reaching out to the mother, and the mother's just caught up in her own mental state. So now she's looking up to the father. And in a way, it's a bit of a message to divine masculine it's time to lead. It's time to step up. It's time to move everyone away from this bad state to the better state. You're in control. You're controlling the rudder. You're steering this boat. So, yeah. I'm really picking up, this is a real escape card in the mental space. So I'm also channeling the divine masculine is escaping into his mind. So to try and make things feel a bit better, I guess. So escaping from and into as well, I'm picking up. And in terms of the shadow space, we have the Ten of Air. So in this deck, it's like a tarot card reading. It's about predicting the future. So I'm picking up two things here. The divine masculine is escaping into future predictions, the future, the potential future. But I'm also picking up he knows what the future is. He knows where it's going. Like this is steering, Spoda is steering towards this future card. He knows his future's with the divine feminine, and she's, in a way that's, I'm picking this up as the divine feminine, just patiently sitting there. She knows, it's in her eyes. She knows. And because this is a mental state energy reading that I'm doing on this line, and the masculine, he knows. He knows. He's conscious his future is with the divine feminine. So it's going in the direction. It's slowly, but the head is down. He needs to lift his head and look up towards the future and lead. So all the other people around him, he can inspire and lead them to that state. So, all right. So what's going on with the divine feminine in her mental state? So she has the Three of Pentacles. So she's been doing her work. She has been doing her work. You can see, look, she's demonstrating, look how much work I've done. Look what I've worked through. I've done so much, and I'm working with others. I'm not totally alone. I'm starting to come out of hermit state, too much alone state, starting to reach out to others. And she's really starting to recognize that this is an important part of the journey. Now, expressing that to others, and that's supported by the shadow cards. So we've got here Beltane, which is, so it's like the Lover's card in the traditional tarot, but this is a real divine. This is a divine state of love and full celebration of earth and heaven. It's a very beautiful card. So a 6, and then we've also got another 6, a 6 of water, 6 of cups, and this is about expressing. So playing music, singing, channeling that, harnessing and expressing that wisdom, especially emotional wisdom. It's part of the divine feminine's mission to do this. So I'm really seeing a few things here in terms of what's the subconscious, the shadow side for the divine feminine in her mental state. She needs to express to the world her emotions more, express by dancing, singing, really channeling her joy. So because you see, look at the joy. They're all dancing around the maypole in celebration of the divine union. So she needs to really celebrate this union. I mean, she's been conquering those fears one by one. They keep coming up, and she more and more quickly gets through them. So she needs to continue that journey to the next level and express her joy to the wider world. And that includes so the divine masculine, he's always connected, he's always linked, he's probably watching in some way. So often there's always some sort of connection in some way through people that you both know, or through social media or something. So divine feminine, don't hide your joy. You know this union is divinely inspired. You don't doubt it anymore. And it gives you joy now. Most of the pain phase is gone. So express your joy and happiness and lead others to that point as well. Lead them out of the darkness. So yes, and I guess the other thing about the 2 6s, that's about self-love. So once again, I think it's a double-barreled message to focus on harmony, on love. It's divine love, and it all comes back from within. So as within, so without. So as above, so below. So to me, this one's a very powerful message for the divine feminine. This is what she needs to focus on. And this is in the mental space, so it has to be a very conscious effort on her part to express her joy and love, starting with herself, and it comes from above and then expresses outward to others and down here on earth. So beautiful cards for divine feminine there. Okay, and then finally we've got the connection energies. So we've got Prince of Wands, so that's the Knight of Wands. So wow, this is lots of passion. And I've been picking this up big time over the last few weeks. I don't know about you, but there's been a lot of passionate energy I've been picking up. I swear it's coming from my counterpart, but also from myself. So a lot more motivation, a lot more can-do attitude, ready for me to... I've been finding decision-making so much easier. So I've got that drive, that confidence that everything will be okay. The universe has my back. So I'm going forth. I'm championing my passions and driving forward. And that also means that real strong creative and sexual and sacral energy is also there. So and what the cards are saying, this is between both of you. This is both divine masculine and divine feminine. This is the connecting energy. So while it's fairly immature, a prince, it's not queen or king, the connection is moving. It is changing. Elements are manifesting. They are. And so the balance of that is the Seven of Earth. So this is in the shadow. This is what's pulling the connection, pulling the connection down a little bit. It's the fears of what's under the surface, the unknown elements. So above we have all the lovely, happy, fun, gentle, playful stuff, and then there's that fear of the unknown under. So everyone above is treading too carefully so that they don't disturb the deep, the beasts of the deep. But well, that's the whole point of the journey. So with the twin flame journey, it's about stirring up the beasts of the deep, facing your dark side, facing the shark, not hiding from it, running away, trying to avoid it. So that's the thing to be aware of, I guess, both divine feminine and divine masculine. While the connection is moving forward in leaps and bounds, a lot of passionate energy, don't be held back by avoidance of the shadows and the deep. So it's part of it. You got to love the shark. You've got to appreciate its beauty and its power, not just the happy dolphin. It's both have to come into union. That's the union journey. That's the point of it. Loving both sides of it, and that harkens back to the whole self-love and the sixes and the harmony. Both in balance. Celebrating both sides, the masculine and the feminine, the light and the dark, the divine and the earthly. So bringing those polarities into balance. So yeah, that's really interesting. And then I also pulled some cards for the near future. And I'm personally unsurprised. So it just fell out this way, but I'm really channeling, this is more the feminine, this is the masculine side. And it's in alignment with the very wands energy that we're picking up on the feminine side. But yeah, the feminine, she's waiting for her ships to come in, waiting patiently. She's channeling big time, actually. She's harnessing the powerful forces of destiny, harnessing the tower and the wheel in her spiritual space, saying, bring it on. She's ready. Bring those ships in, whatever they are, light, dark, indifferent. I'm channeling it, I'm manifesting it, I'm bringing it in. So, and then we have the divine masculine. Sorry, I just have to exercise patience here. This has come up so much. The Two of Swords, the indecision, the stalemate, the refusing, blindly refusing to face the future, which he knows what it's going to be. He's refusing and mentally blocking it out, refusing to make a decision. But no decision is a decision, and it's a decision that, this is shadow side, and it's a decision that means divine masculine, and actually the people around him are actually going to have to learn the hard way. So this I see as the tree of knowledge, and tablets of wisdom. They look like they're runes or something, and then you've got crows picking over the tablets or the ruins. No pun intended. There's a lot of darkness in this card. Like you see the almost sacrifice ready for the hanging man. Very, very dark energy with the crows here. And it's refusing to see the light, the real light, the wisdom that's come from this experience. You can see behind the tree there's great light, but because the divine masculine is not making a decision, being decisive, he's learning the hard way. He's not learning from this tree of knowledge. And instead, there's an element of suspension, decay, the real ugly. So as karmic cycles come to an end, I mean, we're getting close to the end. This is a 9 card. They'll be pecking over the ruins. So this is particularly challenging any karmic relationships. Instead of being decisive and leading them away from, like, looking up to the future and leading towards where his heart and emotions and spirit is trying to tell him to go, by refusing to make that decision and continue with status quo, he will see the ugly side of the decay. And it's a longer and a harder road, but I mean, the lesson will be learned. It's inevitable. It is written in the stars. But that's the consequence of if the near future decision is still to remain in this stalemate energy. So, yeah, but that's look, I've only channeled near future energy because everyone has, free will. They can change this path. So, this might change in a few days, but this is what I'm picking up at the moment. All right. Well, I hope this helped. Please like the reading or share it if you think it's useful. But I'll see you next time. Bye.